Welcome to Backbreaking News. Welcome to Backbreaking News episode 169. Today we're going to be talking about what I want to see in the next AEW game and how they could improve upon their first. The first thing they could do is make it more realistic than the last one. The first one I thought was good, but not everyone thought it was good. In addition to that, not making every new character a DLC. I feel like there was too many DLCs for people's liking. And, not many people were a fan of the game because you had to buy something just to get tournaments in the game. And ultimately, for a lot of people, the pre-order bonus was not worth it. So having less DLC and putting a lot of the material on the next game was good. Next, if they want to compete with WWE, I said make it more realistic than last time. Because they were trying to go for a new Mercy kind of game. But that style has kind of died out since then, and not saying it was a bad game by any sense. It's just they need to make the controllers more easier to make it worth it. The controllers are a bit difficult in learning what to do, especially if you haven't played those games. They're going to be a lot more difficult for the newer fans who never played like No Mercy and don't know the controls. So I'm going to say definitely one thing they could do is make the controllers something similar to WWE. So it's easier to learn and ultimately I would say make the career mode worth playing longer. Instead of having this story with the end, make this career mode where you get to retire when you want, and ultimately you decide when you retire. That is what people are looking for in a career mode. Not they went the WWE route, which was like you could pick the character you want, but it's going through it's going through a selected story already instead of just letting you pick what you want to do. So I feel like to change that, give us more freedom and give us a way longer story mode. Add some more modes. I know there's like the game modes where you have to answer trivia and stuff, but those get boring fast. After the first week, people were already bored of it. So, there's two ways to handle this. Just add more story, add like a GM mode, or add like some form of interesting mode where you play through matches, almost like a showcase mode. Try to make it more interesting. Simply doing that is going to help a lot for the next game. Also, having more match types definitely will help the overall experience of the game, and not putting it by DLC, not making people have to get the DLC for it, definitely will be helpful too. Because not everyone wants to buy something that has a pay window on it. I surely don't. The second thing I'm going to suggest is adding more wrestlers in the game. They have quite a bit, but I also mean not with DLC, just adding more wrestlers just because you can. If you already put them in the game for some people, you should put them on for all people, because it will be much more fun and you get to play. Not everyone wants to buy a DLC pack. As I said, stop it with as many DLCs and do it every once in a while, like WWE, like maybe every once in a month or every 2 to 3 months they do one for games. Another thing I would suggest doing is the other thing I suggest they could do is more creative options, like in the WWE games, because they have very limited creative options. And you want me to tell you half of the battle was because half of the battle is won. I think they would learn their lesson from their last game. A lot of people stopped playing after the first few weeks. I found it interesting, but not interesting enough to, continue playing like WWE games, because there's always something you can do in WWE games. They have GM mode, universe mode, and so much more. Some people say less is better, but sometimes more is 10 times better. In my personal opinion, adding more to this next game will ultimately help with people getting bored quickly, and I feel like even if you want to do what if scenarios in there, like what happens if this wrestler did this, this, and this, just do something interesting and unique. I know that's easier said than done, but ultimately I think it could get done. This is Cookie King Carlos 73. Goodbye.